You ever walked through a city and looked around at the lights and the buildings and thought that you knew the place? Until you realize that you don't really know the history that's under your feet. Because right here in Dallas in 1910, something happened that most people were never taught. A black man by the name of Alan Brooks was accused of assaulting a young girl from the family he worked for. But before there was any real investigation, before due process, a crowd gathered outside of the courthouse. And not a small crowd either. It was hundreds, or maybe thousands. And it wasn't quiet. This was a whole event. They forced their way inside of the building, and they dragged him out of the room that he was hiding in. They threw him from a second-story window. And when he didn't die, they dragged him through the streets, and they beat him. Then they lynched him from an arch right there under the welcome visitor sign. Let that sit for a second. A welcome sign. While something like this was happening right underneath it. And it didn't stop there. After it was over, people took pictures, and they turned it into postcards and sent them across the country like it was something to celebrate, something to remember. And if you look closely at those photos, you can actually see him in the background. And this wasn't a one-time thing. This was a time in history where lynchings were public. They were announced. They were attended. Families showed up. But here's the part that gets me. Most people walk past places like this every day and have no idea of right where they're standing. And if we don't tell these stories, if we don't hold on to our history, they'll act like it never happened. Or worse, they'll rewrite it. And just last year, in 2025, this historical marker for this was vandalized. So even telling this story is being fought against. So yeah, it's important to know our history. Because if we don't, they'll change the story and then tell us that we were the violent ones. So it's even more important that we keep telling these stories. Because if we don't, people will just forget. And they'll try to erase it. So pay attention, learn something, teach somebody, because history don't disappear on its own. It gets buried, and it's up to us to dig it back up. Remember to comment, like, share, and come back for more stories that they won't put in your textbook. Peace.